The whole time I'm handling shit like a G. Cause I'm good. I got it. I gotta uphold the lie. No one can see the truth. Specifically, black women are a target. And let's not pretend like we don't know what I'm talking about. Black American women have this culture built on survival. Based on survival. Especially when you look like me. I'm unmistakably black. And I want to make sure I mention that because we live in a time in society where we getting real ambiguous with who we calling a black woman. Okay? But when I show up, there's no question about who I am and what I represent. Black American women have a flawed culture. We look good. We getting money. We opening businesses. We got all the degrees, all the education. But somehow we can't save ourselves. I'm neurodivergent, right? I see everything in small pieces in this one big puzzle. I don't linearly think, so it's hard for me to kind of follow a linear path as I deliver my message to you. So walk with me. You can't heal when everyone around you is too invested in protecting the lie, including you. I'm sorting through like what it means and what it looks like to be a neurodivergent black woman, specifically identifying with ADHD and autism. I find that a lot more of us on the spectrum than not, but most specifically, our culture puts so much pressure on us that we cannot operate outside of the lie. Like it's almost impossible to operate outside of the lie, but those of us who do it very uncomfortably. My phone holder broke. Like I literally didn't just buy it, but the angle really wasn't that great. I was giving y'all this. I'm always giving y'all this because, you know. Anyway, hi. Yes, hello. It's me again. It's Frisky now. Today, I wanted to make a vlog because it's time to vlog. I haven't vlogged in several weeks, and I had like a couple sitting in the bank, and then I put one out that I wasn't originally gonna put out about me having a panic attack, but whatever. I was like, fuck 'em, we ball. So I put it out. So I wanted to take a moment to first say happy October 1st. It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We made it to 10/1/2025, and wow, is everything moving in rapid speed, or is it just me being bad at time traveling again? Because anyway, this moment my arm is the tripod, so we'll see how it goes. But I have a neurodivergent community. I've started to passively mention it more and more here, and I probably will be actively mentioning it more and more here because I'm making peace with the fact that that's a bigger part of my identity than I'd ever anticipated. Okay, so here my little blurb, my little poem. I'll give it to you like how I wrote it, you know. Black women have a flawed culture. Actually, scratch that. Black American women have a flawed culture. Some of the things I've written about while healing my nervous system from generational and complex trauma. You can't heal when everyone around you is too invested in protecting the lie, including you. One of the unique challenges that come along with existing as a black woman is that we are socialized to keep the secrets of others at the detriment of ourselves. Too male-centered, too child-centered, too self-sacrificial without a net positive. Our suffering is applauded, lauded as strengths, even amongst one another. Foolishness. Our culture is matriarchal and polyamorous. Let's be real. The integrity of our sisterhood is weak because the mirrors are dirty. Motherhood is enmeshed because we're not honest about lack. We're afraid of being victims, so we rarely accept the reality of our circumstance. You can't heal when everybody around you is too invested in protecting the lie, including you. Now, for those of us who aren't super poetic and introspective, let me break down for you exactly what I mean. Black American women have this culture built on survival. Based on survival, resilience, toughness, right? Liberation, freedom fighting. These are all underwritten hallmarks of our culture, especially when you look like me. I'm unmistakably black, and I want to make sure I mention that because we live in a time in society where we getting real ambiguous with who we calling a black woman. Okay, but when I show up, there's no question about who I am and what I represent. All right. So I wanted to highlight that specifically because we see these things bleeding over in the resurgence and very strong nature of texturism and colorism and all the different isms that we see rampant in this world that are coexisting with the primary isms that oppress us all, but specifically Black women are a target. And let's not pretend like we don't know what I'm talking about. And because of that, we wear this badge of honor, of resilience, of strength. We strong women. Can we not? Can we just not do that? Like, you cannot heal if everybody around you is too invested in protecting the lie. So why are we keep upholding the lie, right? Because don't we assume strong and masculinity as synonymous, but yet we don't like being called masculine? So all these different things that I see happening, trending, you know, because I'm a clustered thinker, I'm neurodivergent, right? I see everything in small pieces in this one big puzzle. I don't linearly think, so it's hard for me to kind of follow a linear path as I deliver my message to you. So walk with me. All of these different concepts like soft life, right? And Black women taking rest and tapping out, and all these different things that are collectively happening in the sphere because we are living in a clusterfuck of society right now. They're all results. They're all side effects of the real truth. We're doing too much because we've been accustomed to having to do so much for survival, for strength, for resilience, for purpose, for worth. But yet, it's almost impossible for us to do less because we've mothered, pacified, nurtured society into believing that, don't worry, a Black woman will come fix it. So when we say we're tired, we're exhausted, we need rest, that gets dismissed as, you good, you got it, you well put together with all your degrees and your businesses, right? The problem, the real problem, to me, for me, is the illusion inside. I understand the illusion for the outside, to uphold that level of, y'all ain't gonna take me out the game because they've been trying to take us out the game for millennia, right? I get it. Uphold the code for the external appearance. Uphold the lie. But if you're gonna tell that same lie in your house to yourself, in your mind, when will you ever know peace? When will you ever know rest? Will you ever be able to have a nervous system that isn't riddled with autoimmune issues that's rampant in our community, high blood pressure? But let's be frank, suicide is on the rise. Millennial women are taking themselves out left and right because what the fuck is this shit? Like, what is going on? And it's like, you're not allowed to say that, right? You have to rise to the occasion. You have to get a thicker skin, right? You have to stop wearing your heart on your sleeve. All these different things that we don't tell anybody except for women that look like me. Walk with me now. So when we have issues like all of the isms, racism, sexism, colorism, textureisms, ism, it's the ism for the ism out this mug. But the real problem is how we uphold these lies within our own community. I dare you right now to think of one Black woman that you've never described as strong, as resilient. I dare you to describe one thing about your Black mother that isn't synonymous with any of those labels or adjectives. October 1st is ADHD Awareness Month. And one of the things that Black women suffer in mass but in silence is from mental health issues, because it's against our culture, it's against our religion, it's against a lot of different things to speak out on the fact that something going on because I'm buckling under the constant pressure that's always put on me, and I can't ask for help because all you're gonna do is give me a high five and say, you good, you got it. So when they finally ask for help, they're misdiagnosed with things like anxiety. They're misdiagnosed with things like depression. And I'm no clinical specialist. I'm no licensed clinical professional. However, I have my own mental health challenges and have had them my entire life. But nobody cares because I perform well. I rise to the occasion, right? And I am well put together. So when I said, I need help, they said, you good, you got it. And what I realized in that time is I really had to have it, because if I was to lose my mind, if I was to really lose my shit and crash the fuck out, only I had to pay for that. So like many of us, I suppress and repress my rage, my anger, my disappointment, my confusion with all of the chaos that is around me that I'm supposed to accept as a norm, because I don't want to participate in the lie. Therefore, I don't get the support. Because how dare you go against the culture? How dare you pretend as if you can't acknowledge what's supposed to be happening here? They call me a disruptor. My type of archetype is typically called a disruptor in my industry. Oftentimes they applaud and pay me well for it, but in my culture, the same skills that made me skilled in the wild made me get rejected in the village over and over and over and over again. But they look, they peek, they admire, I aspire, I inspire. So much so that I've had to sort through the fact that not everybody is willing to go outside of the status quo. Most people will only ever uphold the lie because they're not willing to risk life, limb, mental health, and any other safety necessities or anything else, security, that they've acquired by participating. One of the things that I learned while learning myself is that I was lying to me. I was upholding the lie. I wanted to not be a victim. I wanted to not admit that I've experienced domestic abuse, domestic violence, financial neglect. Oh, and hold on. Let's take that shit all the way back to childhood, because I just finished a course that really is making my head spin, okay? Changed my life, kid you not. But the concept of being ignored, dismissed, not protected, disrespected, straight neglected, right? And then you grow into the adult that is being mentally, emotionally, financially abused. But then you enter a new chapter where you get to understand what it's like to be legally abused. Right? Like, but the whole time I'm handling shit like a G, because I'm good. I got it. I gotta uphold the lie. No one can see the truth. But then when you start talking, it's like flipping on a light switch, because everybody scatter like fucking roaches. They scatter like roaches because they're not yet ready to peek behind the curtain. They do not have the strength to not uphold the lie. Black American women have a flawed culture. We look good. We getting money. We opening businesses. We got all the degrees, all the education. But somehow we can't save ourselves for a second, even if for a second. But we don't have a holder now, because like I just said, the phone holder broke. Where'd I put it? I threw it on the floor. Because I'm like, I'm going to try to get the little replacement piece. This piece is like broke. It keeps coming off. Like, where the, here. So if I put the phone on there, the whole thing just like falls off. So I'm like, I just bought that. I don't want to get another one, but I probably have to get another one. Anyway.